Now it's time for the shading for our very last step, this inner circle. This probably is the trickiest part, so we'll go pretty slow as we go through it. We're going to actually create two more little arcs here inside. We're going to create like a little arc like that. This looks like a little bit of a half circle. All right, and then we'll create one more little kind of stripe above that. Again, these don't have to be perfect and they don't have to be perfectly circular. In this bottom shape, I'm going to shade everything about a number 5. And I'm going to use my eraser to lift out one little area as a highlight. Get that smooth. And then I'll use my eraser to lift out one little highlight in there, kind of like a little swirl. Above this, I'm going to go really dark, and I'm just going to leave a couple little white patches. So I'm going to draw my white patches first. I'm going to draw like 3 or 4 of them. And everything else, I'm going to go really dark. I'm going to go with my number 7 value and get this area as dark as I can possibly go, and just leave those 3 or 4 little white blobs. They can be very randomly shaped. Don't make them too perfect. Don't make them too perfectly square or rectangular, because we want them to just be sort of little random reflections. But I'm going really dark around this. Now I've got my final little arc here, and my final arc, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my gray number 5, but I'll leave a little bit of a white outline around the edges. It can be kind of varying. It doesn't have to be perfectly shaped. But I'll leave a little bit of white in there. So in that center circle, I've got a little blob at the bottom with a white swirl. I've got a really dark middle section with a couple of white blobs, and then I'm going back to my gray for the top. Now this is really it for the shading. Our entire glass is shaded at this point. I'm going to bring the camera down into position so you can see it. The only step that's left after this is the cutting. So here is the final look of my water glass on a tabletop. Looks pretty good. And once I do the cut, that will totally solidify the illusion as well.